And we're back. We're going to talk to shoot. And we're back. Today we're going to talk about who are the title contenders for the 1A state championship, public and private. We've already been through 2A, 3A, 4A. Now at last we're going to talk about 1A. And 1A has some really good teams. Colby, kind of lead us into who do you think is going to be the title contenders for the 1A public?
I think it starts with defending state champs Wilson Prep. They've been there. They know what it takes, right? They're having a really good year, sitting at 12-4. They lost some games early in the year when they didn't have their full squad. Coach Atkinson does a really good job with that squad. They're led by guard Christian Battle. He's having a really good year, averaging 20 points, 2 steals a game. He makes them go, right? He's aggressive defensively. He gets average, scrappy little guard, but he also can make shots. And then you have a sophomore in David Ellis who, he has good size, 6'7". He utilizes his length on the defensive end. He rebounds the ball, averaging 10 rebounds a game. But he's one of these guys who can step out. I think he's a guy he can really shoot the ball for his size to be able to shoot it like he does. I think he's a guy that could, we could see, kind of having a little blow up here over the next couple of years here in North Carolina, especially down east. In the West, you have Hayesville, who's sitting at 17-0, right? They're in the West. I think they've kind of separated themselves there. Led by senior Colby Ash, committed to Palm Beach Atlantic. Small guard, but he can really fill it up, right? So I think those two teams are, they have a chance to see each other. You also you can't forget about a team like Mount Airy. They were in the Final Four last year in the West. They made it to the Final Four in the West. They're led by Brooks Sizemore and Zeb Stroud. So they have guys who've been there. They're sitting at 12-4 right now. You just went to go see Winston-Salem Prep play. Talk to us a little bit about those guys.
Winston-Salem Prep is, a team that a lot of people should have on their radar. They're led by Jamison Graves, who's their leading scorer right now.
He's having like 19 a game, something like that.
Yeah. Their coach does a great job, and he does a lot of stuff with Team Bond's AAU program. And you know how successful Team Bond's been around the area. Obviously, you have a freshman who's I think is going to be a really good player in Johannes Connor. He's the type of player where sometimes he may not be the overall most skilled player, but his best skill set is has a great motor and he plays extremely hard. And he's averaging almost close to a double-double as a freshman. Just always around the basketball. He's good at getting to the rim. And, that's a team, like those tough, scrappy teams that a lot of people don't want to see when it comes state playoff time.
Yep. And another team out west is Bishop Mcginnis.
Yep.
Right now they're 13-7, but Coach Thompson, he always has that team in playoff contention runs, right? They're led by senior Dawson McElhaney. Has great size, like close to 6'5", but he can make shots. He's tough. He's physical. That team is they always seem to find their stride at the right time. They're very well coached, and they're a team that coach has been to he's won multiple state championships, and he's been there for a long time. They're a very successful team there in the 1A division. Let's go back out east. You have Chatham Charter sitting at 22-1 right now. They're led by junior Adam Harvey. He's averaging 15.7 rebounds, 2 assists. That's really incredible numbers. They're out of Siler City, but they're having a really good year. Like I said, 22-1. So they're another team to keep your eye on there in the East. Also, you have North Edgecomb at 16-3, led by, senior 6'4" Marion McCray. He's putting up ridiculous numbers, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and nearly 2 blocks a game. That's a difference maker right there. When you have a guy like that who can impact the game in such a variety of ways, especially in playoff time. And when teams start to lock in on you defensively, and you have a guy who can really impact the game like that, they're going to have to really key in on him, but also he's still going to be able to, get his in a way. So I think those are the teams that we're going to look at there in the 1A public school division. It's a really deep division right there. But I think, like we talked about, it kind of starts with Wilson Prep. Can they defend their title? That's something that they're really going to want to do. Obviously, Coach Atkinson, in a short amount of time, he's built a powerhouse there. So, we're going to see if they can defend it. I think they have a good chance to, for sure. Now let's look at the private school division there in 1A. I think it starts with, I think it's going to be United Faith and Greenfield, right? I think those are two clear cut. Those are the two best teams. What do you think about those guys?
I would agree with you. I would think, Greenfield would probably have the slighter edge maybe over United Faith right now. But I think those two teams will be able to compete for the state championship. Greenfield,
I think. Well, the thing is with Greenfield, you have Queens commit Aaron Murphy, right? He's having a Player of the Year caliber year, right?
Yeah,
they're at 21-5. You have some really good players. The sophomore in Hampton Evans, who's putting up great numbers. He's super productive. He's tough. He can make shots. He's physical. You have a point guard, Matt Kirby, who's having a really good junior year.
Yeah, and then like you kind of hit on it. Like Coach Salters does. I mean, he's won multiple state championships. Like he's been there before. He knows what it takes to win state championships. Yeah. And United Faith, they're led by Xavier McKelvey, who's one of the most explosive guards in the state. I mean, Winthrop commit. I think he'll have a great career at Winthrop. I think he's one of those kids that slid under the radar, and he made he's gonna make a name for himself. And they have some really Lance Gill,
Alex Bates,
Marcus.
Marcus. I mean, he had a really good year this summer for Charlotte Royals, right?
I mean, he defends
with McKelvey, right? It was a lot of those same guys. Lance Gill, they were all playing together. So that group's been, those guys are all comfortable with each other. They played all summer, developing that chemistry. Obviously you have a new coach this year in Tamar Slade, but I mean, he's a guy who's played at the highest level of basketball, right? He
knows what he's doing.
He knows the game really well. He does a great job with those guys, right? And and it helps, right? You have a new staff, right? But you bring in a guy like that who's he's proven himself, right? And the guys can look up to that, like, hey, look, you aspire to be at the level that he played at, right? He knows what it takes to get there, right? And I think that's a really unique thing. It's really good for those young players to have a guy like that who they can, kind of follow and learn from.
For sure. And I mean, that's a nice thing to have. Like, dude played in the NBA. Like, ask him anything, what it takes. He's been there. He's done that. Not a lot of high school coaches can be like, hey, this is what it takes to get there. Like, they can't say it from experience. They can just say it from, the outside looking in.
He's lived it, right?
He lived it.
He actually had to put in the work, and he worked his way there, and and he can, like you said, speak of it from experience. But I think those are the two top teams in that 1A division. They're kind of clear cut ahead of everybody else. I think that'll be the battle. That'll be a showdown there in the state championship game.
For sure. And there you have it, 1A state championship for public and private. It's going to be a battle in both divisions, and we're excited to see how it plays out.